Welcome everyone to another episode of Teach the Geek interviews. My name is Neil Thompson. I'm the founder of Teach the Geek. It's an online platform for science and engineering professionals. The first offering of the platform is a public speaking course called Teach the Geek to Speak. To learn more about it, you can go to teachthegeek.com. Again, that's teachthegeek.com. Today, my guest is Barbara Khozam, and she used to be a chemist, but now she's a professional speaker. I'm really interested to learn more about that transition. And of course, because she's a professional speaker, I'm sure she has a lot of great tips on becoming better at public speaking too. Welcome to Teach the Geek interviews, Barbara.
Thank you, Neil. I'm excited to be here. Yay!
Yes, and I'm excited for you to be here too. So the first question, where did your interest in chemistry come from?
Oh, high school. So in high school, for some reason, chemistry class was the easiest class that I took. Like English, I wasn't good at writing, and I liked math. Math was okay, but for some reason, chemistry was a breeze. I don't know. It just clicked with me. So that's how I first encountered that.
Okay. And then as I mentioned earlier, you worked as a chemist for a number of years. What was the motivation to stop working as a chemist?
Well, okay, so first we can back up a little bit. So I went to college. When I went to college, I actually majored in accounting. Because I don't know about you, but when I was 18, I didn't know what I wanted to be when I grew up. So I thought, oh, well, accounting, that's a good career, right? So I took 1 year of accounting and I wanted to kill myself. And then, so that's freshman year. And then sophomore year, I'm like, well, what do I do now? So I took an acting class, and I took all these like social, what is it called? Social studies or something.
Okay.
But then I took another chemistry class, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember chemistry. So then I majored in chemistry. Here's the issue though, Neil. I didn't look beyond that. I didn't look beyond a 4-year degree. Like what can you do as a chemist with a 4-year degree? I didn't look into the future. So I didn't realize if you have simply a bachelor's degree in chemistry, you're basically a lab tech. If you want to do research and something exciting, you need something beyond that. So I didn't really plan well during my college. But then after college, I got a couple jobs. I actually had a pretty good job. My job, eventually when I was a chemist for 10 years. I was an applications development chemist, which meant that I would work on different manufacturers' instruments, creating reagents. My company created the reagents, and we would make them work on different manufacturers' instruments. The only part of my job I liked, though, was when I had to train someone on how to operate the machines. And I loved doing that. I loved teaching, oh, here, push this, and then they got excited, and that part came easy to me, but it was only 10% of my job. So I kind of knew I had a knack for it in that position.
Oh, okay. Just like when you were speaking, just like you, when I was 18, I had no clue what I wanted to do as an adult either. So that's, so my father told me to study engineering. So that's what I did.
All right. Awesome.
Luckily it worked out. I wasn't too upset about it, after the fact, but man, it would have really sucked if I hated engineering. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I guess it's really important to have that kind of foresight because, you finish with this 4-year degree and then you realize, oh, wow, my prospects aren't as expansive as I thought they would be.
That's right. That's right.
So you said 10% of the job was the actual part you enjoyed, and that was training others. What gave you the actual motivation to then leave chemistry altogether, leave work as a chemist altogether, and become a trainer? I guess a trainer. Yeah.
Well, that story is kind of long, but okay, here we go. I'll make it quick. All right. So when I was a kid, the last position that I had was pretty cool. it allowed me to move to San Diego. I was living in Santa Clara University, but I had a position where I was a tech rep. So I had a territory of San Diego and Arizona, and I would travel around to different customer sites, making the equipment work and training things. So it was a great position, but it still just wasn't, my love. So I realized I have two options. The only option really to move up in the company was to go into sales. But my goal, I set a goal for myself one year when I was in this position. I said to my boss, I want to be in the President's Club. And I don't know if you've heard of this, but in my company, the President's Club is where they take the top performer from every department, and it's like, the employee of the year or whatever. And that person gets to go somewhere like Bermuda for a week with a loved one, which for me at that time would have been my mother. So I said to my boss, I want to be part of the President's Club. What do I need to do? And he said, oh, you need to do these 3 things. Boom, boom, boom. So the next year I did those 3 things. Boom, boom, boom. Well, the problem was 6 months before my review time, before we finished that year, we had a merger. So the only people that went to Bermuda with their loved ones or mothers were from the company that bought our company.
Oh, yeah. Are you serious?
Good motivator, right?
He was like, son of a bitch, all that working and I still don't get to go to Bermuda.
That's right. So I stayed 1 more year. The person who got the award the next year was a woman that I had to follow around all year long, fixing her mistakes.
Oh, wow.
She got the award. I quit 1 week later.
I'm sure. Yeah, well, good riddance. I hope you got to Bermuda eventually.
I did. Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy, man. So then you quit that job, and then what?
Yeah. Okay. It was drastic. I quit the job. Luckily, I was single and I had money in savings. So for 8 months, Neil, I struggled. I didn't know what to do. I started cold calling for a professional speaker. Oh my God. I was awful at that. And then I don't even know what I was doing. I was just looking on the internet for jobs, and it was awful. But then one of my friends told me about Skill Path seminars, one of those, seminar companies. So I applied to Skill Path seminars. So I quit in January. I got hired in September. And I think I did my first seminar for them in November, and I stayed with them for 11 years. So I got to travel all over the world doing their presentations, but I got a lot of platform skills time. But I knew on the first day of that job, I knew it was what I was supposed to be doing. It was very clear.
Oh, wow. What's it like to, I guess, present or do workshops on other people's material? Is it difficult?
Oh gosh, yeah. So, and so check this out. This is funny. So the first class I was asked to teach was called Coaching and Team Building for Managers and Supervisors. Guess what, Neil? I've never been a manager or a supervisor. So I'm like, oh, okay, so they give you the workbook. They give you the workbook, and at that time we had one of those things called where you put them on the glass. They're the little plastic thing that you write on, and you put it on the glass, and it shines it onto the screen.
Yeah, the overheads.
Yeah, overheads. Yeah. So we had those, and then we had a workbook. So I knew the content. All I had to do was kind of make it come to life. Well, gosh, I just did a lot of studying, but you know what? I attended a lot of workshops before I ever taught it. And then I kind of just followed what those other people did. But you know what made it is I would mess up. The first time I did it, I probably didn't do a very good job, but I learned a lot from the participants. And then I would add that into the next one. So like what makes it are the stories and the real life examples. And the more I did, the more stories and examples I got. So then I just got better and better and better.
Yeah,
And
I'm guessing the people that you would present to afterwards, as you went along, they were going to appreciate it more because you had more and more stories to make the material come to life. Did you actually have any kind of say over the training that you were given, or is it just you have to stick to this? And you can add some stuff if you want, but if you deviate from this at all, then that's a problem.
Well, okay, so here's the good thing is that you don't have to cover every page in the workbook or every bullet point. So I would cover the stuff I wanted to cover.
Okay.
And the stuff that I felt comfortable presenting. Like I wouldn't cover like legal, if there was a page on legal issues or something, I would just say, this is a good reference tool. And I'd go on to the next page.
Nice.
So there's no time. I mean, you don't have time to cover everything. So yeah.
Was it because you didn't put together the training yourself? Did you ever get questions about things in the workbook that you didn't know the answer to?
Oh, good question. Did I ever get questions about things I didn't know the answer to? Well, when I first started, if I got a question I didn't know, I would turn it back on the audience. And I would say, wow, that's a great question. I don't want to hog the stage. What do you guys think?
Wow.
And then while they're talking, I would either agree or I would say, oh, well, here's another one, yeah.
Wow, that's genius. And the people in the audience, they're more than happy to put up their hand. Yeah.
They're like, oh yeah, I know.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's good.
Wow. So I know, in addition to the work that you did with SkillPath, I mean, do you do trainings that's based on your own type of material?
Oh yeah, now I do. I stopped working with SkillPath in 2010, okay. And since then, so the last 10 years, I've been doing my own stuff.
Okay.
So that's even better.
Yeah, and the stuff that you present on now, what are the topics?
Oh, my main topic. So I call it my bait. My main topic is customer service. So people normally hear about me because of customer service. 80% of my clients are healthcare, so patient experience is another term for customer service. So that's kind of how I get into a company. Once I'm in with a company, then I can do leadership skill or management training and leadership training and team building and empathy. I can do a lot of other things. But what gets me in the door is usually customer service.
Oh, okay. And I guess that's the main topic that's of interest to healthcare companies?
Yeah, the patient experience because of the patient surveys. So doctors' offices get reimbursement from Medicare. If they have better survey results, they get more money back.
Oh.
The worse the survey results, the lower the money. So I can help raise those survey scores.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So they get more. So the people attend your presentations that are interested in patient experience. Who are they? What are their titles in the hospitals or in healthcare?
Oh, so it's a lot of office managers. So I do a lot of doctors' offices. So a lot of office managers or lead physicians or administrators. Those are like the top 3 that would actually hire me.
Okay. And I know we're dealing with this whole coronavirus thing now. So I'm guessing going, on site places is kind of, that's a no-no right now. Is it possible to do your trainings virtually?
Yes, I do actually have an online course on patient experience. So I have that, but right now there's no time for training for doctors' offices anywhere.
Okay.
So everything is kind of on hold at this moment.
Yeah. This whole coronavirus is really taking a whole lot of people out, man. It's crazy. I hope it gets, resolved, sooner rather than later. That's for sure.
Yes, let's hope.
I know you said that you initially got to customer service. What was the reason that you picked customer service? Did you just know that these healthcare entities had the ability to raise their get more money from Medicare if they raise their survey scores?
Yeah, great question, Neil. So when I first went out on my own in 2010, I had never done marketing. I didn't know anything. So I thought, oh, you know what? I'm going to do presentations on attitude, because attitude is so important, and that everybody needs a better attitude. And so I tried doing, I had my last name is Khozam, so I had Khozamitude and Zamitude, and I had don't be a dramatude, and are you a technotude? I had all these tudes. And then I hired a speaking coach, a very successful speaking coach. And he's like, I hate to tell you this, nobody hires attitude talks. Like, they're not going to pay for an attitude talk. They will pay for customer service, leadership, and communication. Pick one. So I picked the customer service because it's attitude, just with a different term. But I've always loved customer service. I'm obsessed. If I get a good experience, I tell the manager. If I have a bad one, I write a blog post. So it kind of just was a natural flow for me, really.
Oh, okay. And has doing presentations on attitude ever come up afterwards? I know you said that, you get into these organizations with patient experience, but then you said that there's the opportunity to sell them on other presentations afterwards. Do you ever pitch them attitude?
No, but I incorporate attitude into my first presentation. My customer service or a patient experience, it's in there. So I don't actually say that this is a segment on attitude. It's just in there because it's so crucial to everything. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So
yeah.
I know you've been doing public, you're being a professional speaker for a number of years now, but when you first started, was that something that I know, and you also said you did training, 10% of your job as a chemist was training, but when it comes to public speaking, were you always good at it? And if not, what did you do to get better at it?
Was I always good at it? That's a good, well, I knew I had a knack for it. The first time I gave a presentation to a large group of people was at my high school graduation. And I remember I was super nervous, but when I was done, I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. And then what do? I go to college and major in accounting. Yeah, that's smart. So I knew I had the knack, but with Skill Path, we didn't really get trained on how to do it. But I think just over time, you do it 6 hours a day, and we would work 10 to 12 days a month. That's all you can do, really. And so I think just over time, I got the experience. But in 2010, I joined Toastmasters. So that sounds weird. I had joined it 10 years after I started. But Toastmasters really helped me hone my skills. I didn't realize I was pacing back and forth. And I talk really fast. And I would use and I use and all the time. And so they really helped me get even better. And like dealing with the crowd and the audience and answering questions, and that made me even better with all that stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, one question I just thought of that I didn't ask before. So the trainings that you do with your company, what do they look like? Are they like workshops where people like sit and actually have to do activities, or is it just you talking and then they go away, or like how's it work?
I would never just talk at people. Oh, I would kill myself. No, mine are always interactive. I always have them talking to each other or doing it. It depends. A lot of my staff trainings are only 2 hours. That's all staff can take. Managers, I do like 4 to 6 hours, but all of them are interactive. All of them have exercises. People can't sit, people can't sit for more than 7 minutes without having something to do. So yeah, I always have them doing something. Talking, standing, something.
Nice. And then something else that I was thinking about. So the people that actually attend your trainings, are they attending voluntarily, or is this what they have to do?
Oh, wouldn't that be nice? No, most of them it's mandatory. Oh, and I love that. They come in and they're like, they're all pissed off.
Yeah, I would think.
Oh, but my favorite thing is before they leave, they're smiling and they're interactive. That's my favorite thing, is when I can turn a frown into turn that frown upside down or whatever.
Yeah, that's it. And then one other thing that I was just thinking about. So when you approach these these organizations to do trainings with them, who are you approaching in the organization?
Well, so I would have to say, and this is one of my weaknesses, marketing is one of my weaknesses, but 95% of people that hire me have already seen me speak somewhere else, or they're a referral.
Okay.
So if I were to approach, and I've tried that, you know, cold emailing and cold calling, and I'll go to office managers. I have to go, it's either an office manager or an administrator.
Okay.
Usually they're monitoring the survey scores, you know, and they're aware of if there's an issue or not. So I will go to them, but it's really if they see me speak. Sometimes they'll see one of my videos and they'll be like, oh, I need you to come in. But most of the time it's a referral or they've seen me.
Okay. And then when it comes to, you know, doing presentations, do you have a process for that? And if so, what is it?
Do I have a process for doing a presentation?
Yeah, for putting it together.
Well, most of the time it's going to be, okay, so I have like a standard patient experience 2-hour session, and then I have a manager 4-hour session. But how I tailor it is I do mystery calls, because my thing is customer service. So I pretend like I'm a patient and I'll call in, I'll do mystery calls. Sometimes if they're close to me, I'll do a mystery patient visit. So I'll actually go in and act like a patient from start to finish so I can experience them. I'll also interview employees or people attending. I'll interview them on the phone for like 15 minutes and just find out. I want to listen to their language and their lingo. Do they call patient? Do they call them patients or members? Like I did a presentation for an apartment complex, marketing managers, and they called them residents. They don't call the apartment complex a complex, it's a community. Because if I use the wrong word, they shut down and they don't listen to me, they won't implement. But if I use the right terminology, if I use their examples, oh, now I'm one of them, and then they'll take more information. They'll take it back and they'll implement it. Pretty cool.
Okay. And when it comes to presenting, do you ever get nervous? And if so, how do you deal with your nerves?
Always. I always get nervous. I don't think that ever goes away. I kind of think that if you don't get nervous, you're not present or you're not vulnerable or something. Like if you're just kind of going up there and blah, 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 I think that's a problem. I think a little bit of nerves is good. It kind of keeps you on your toes, right? And then I just, I do a lot of visualization. So I'll just, before I go out there, I, jump up and down a couple times and I visualize laughter, even though their faces are, angry at the moment.
Right.
But I'm like, oh, they're going to leave happy. Come on. Whoa. So I got to get myself physically ready, a couple jumps up and down. Whoa. I got to get myself ready before I can get them ready.
Yeah, absolutely. And I firmly agree with you that if you're not nervous, that's a sign that you don't care about what you're talking about.
Yeah. I think you need a little bit of that.
Yeah. So, based on all your years as a professional speaker, what are some tips that you can offer to people who want to get more effective at public speaking?
So for me, like people always say, I'm not confident. How do you get confident? And for me, it's knowing the material. So like when I first started, I wasn't confident. I didn't know what I was talking about. Oh, but over time, I knew what questions they were going to ask me. And you can think about it ahead of time, right? Okay, I'm presenting this idea. What can they possibly ask me? And how can I come up with a response? So for me, the preparation is key. And for me too, oh my God, the first couple lines out of my mouth are crucial. So I've got to start a little louder. I fake it, right? Good morning, or I was walking on, whatever you start with, a quote, a story, start strong. And then the middle part, you can kind of mess up, end strong. So for me, I almost sometimes memorize the first part, be very clear with the last part, and then the middle, you can kind of wing it a little bit. Of course, depends how long it is, right?
Right.
But that's crucial for me. Knowing your material, strong beginning, strong end.
Absolutely. Yeah, I firmly agree with that. And to go back to something you said that I was just thinking about, visualization. That's an excellent tip to give people, just to put yourself in the mind that you're presenting and it's going well and people are laughing when they're supposed to be laughing. And
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, yeah.
like, that was supposed to be funny. What the hell they laughing for? I was serious as hell.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
funny.
but yeah, just picturing yourself doing well, I think is helpful in actually you doing well. Because if you go up there thinking you're gonna mess it up, then yeah, you probably will.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So, are there any other things that you would like to share, or things that you're working on?
Oh, what am I working on? Well, I'm always working on something. I'm working on doing more videos because I know for a fact speakers get hired because I have gotten hired because of my video clips. So I'm right now working on, I'm creating, you can't see it now, but I'm creating a home studio here. I've just got the lights, I've got the stands and the thing. So I'm going to start doing more little video clips because I know that that's what meeting planners, that's what people that hire you want to see. You're a speaker, right? So they want to see more of us speaking. So that's what I'm working on now.
And you're gonna be speaking about customer service?
Mostly customer service. Oh, well, attitude, of course. Well, now during this whole coronavirus thing, it's going to be like, what can you do to not get stuck? So yeah, a lot of attitude stuff. We'll do some customer service and who knows? Leadership, of course. Leadership, communication, the works. I'm going to do that all. I'll do it all.
Wonderful. So how can people get in touch with you, Barbara?
Wow. Well, they can go to my website, which is my name, barbarakhozam.com. I know it's hard to spell, but Barbara is Barbara and Khozam is Khozam. Or I have another website, and that is mshappypants.com. So mshappypants.com. That's easier to spell.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well, everybody, that marks the end of another episode of Teach the Geek Interviews. My name is Neil Thompson, founder of Teach the Geek. It's an online platform for science and engineering professionals. The first offering of the platform is a public speaking course called Teach the Geek to Speak. To learn more about it, you can go to teachthegeek.com. Again, that's teachthegeek.com. Until next time, take care and stay safe. Thanks, Barbara.
Bye.